Hi, my name is Mike Hohnen. Today I'd like to introduce you to a concept that I think it's really important to understand as a team leader. It's not the fix all your problems solutions to everything, but it is a framework that's going to help you understand why you sometimes feel incredibly frustrated, and a concept that is going to help you maybe better navigate on a day-to-day basis how you actually act in the organization. I call this concept the pressure cooker. And the way it works is like this. Most organizations have this kind of a pyramid structure. Small organizations, large organizations, they all basically have the same structure. They have a managing director or a group of managers at the top. They have some middle management. They have some employees. And then we have the customers. And then we have somebody who represents the shareholders, board of directors, whatever. And these people, the board of directors or the principal shareholder or shareholders, generally tend to exercise a certain pressure towards the managing director or the top management team. And this pressure is gradual throughout the year, but it has a tendency to sort of culminate around December, January, where it really sort of comes into the picture again and is accentuated. And that pressure is all about, even if it's going well and even if it's going bad, it's still the same message. What we'd really like to see next year is a little bit more profit and a little bit faster growth. Could you please put your foot on the pedal and achieve that? And sometimes it's more subtle than this. This is sort of the short, brief version, but it's basically the message that it's trying to convey. And the managing director or management team hear this message, and then they get the middle management team together. They maybe have a kickoff session in the beginning of January, or maybe they just send out a memo, or top guy records a beautiful video where he sends out this message about what we're going to be doing in this coming year. And essentially, that message, we can boil it down to quite simple, because it's always basically the same message year after year. And the message is, ladies and gentlemen, this year we are going to be asking you to produce a little bit more, and we're going to give you slightly fewer resources to do it. And we call that concept, this is the year of more for less. You can probably recognize that. At the same time, managing directors go to courses and they get taught that they need to involve the front line and get everybody engaged and happy and enthusiastic. And so they get everybody together again and have maybe a big town hall meeting, or they send out a memo again on an email or whatever it is that they sign. And again, message can be longer or shorter, but basically what the message is about is, this year we need to everybody join together and we need to have more we. All together now. That's what we're going to do. Now, at the same time, bottom here, we have our customers, and our customers are constantly exercising a certain pressure towards our frontline employees. And this pressure is very much driven by the fact that customers get told every bloody day, you need to be more demanding, customer is king, there's lots of choice out there, you just need to ask for everything to be just customized for you. And so the essence of that pressure is, I am more special. Every customer wants to be more special. And all these lovely employees that we have, they hear these two messages, the part about more we and pulling together, and that's fun. They think that's a good message. And then they also hear this message from the customers that they want extra service and more special and all of that stuff. And that's also great, because that's why they joined a service company in the first place. And they want to be able to deliver that. But at the same time, they exercise a certain pressure towards their middle management team, their immediate supervisors and that group. And that pressure is really about, well, we'd really like to be doing this, but if we could have slightly better hours to work and a different kind of uniform, and also need to do yoga on Wednesdays, Thursdays and Sundays, and maybe a little bit more per hour would also really help me in sort of finding the motivation to do this. The message is essentially constantly about more for me. And you, my dear friend, the middle manager, the team leader, whatever it is, probably are constantly caught in the middle of these conflicting pressures. From the one side, this demand to be more efficient, more effective, And on the other side, you get told about service profit chain and empowerment and enthusiasm and engagement. And so you want to please these people as well. And sometimes you just sit there and you tear your hair out wondering, how am I going to ever achieve that? And so there are two problems with this. There's good news and bad news, in my opinion. Let's do the bad news first. The bad news is, I promise you, this is going to get worse. Everywhere where we look, when we look at the trends that surround us, boards, owners are going to increase the pressure for more profits and growth. There's no doubt about that. Customers are going to increase the pressure to be more special. No doubt about that either. As we move into the new cohorts of employees, Generation Y, X, Z, whatever they're called, they become more and more demanding. They're fantastic, they're fun, they're wonderful to work with, but they too become more and more demanding. So the pressure cooker is just going to get hotter and hotter as the years go by. The good news is that what you need to understand is that it's not a conflict. It's not an either or. What will enable you to survive the pressure cooker is to understand that this is a polarity, like breathing in and out. You need to do both at the same time in a balanced way. And if you think about it, when we please upstairs and we try and satisfy that need, we're very much into task orientation. And we need to do that because there needs to be a certain task orientation in order to get things done. And when we are trying to keep the other end of the polarity happy, it's very much about the relationship orientation. If I were to do a really crude division on this, I would say it's basically this polarity of management and leadership. And once you understand that it's not an either or, but it's a both and that you need to juggle both and keep them both balls in the air the whole time, then your life suddenly becomes much easier. But it's a mental attitude that we need to take in order to get to that point. So I hope that this has inspired you to think a little bit about this. And if you'd like to know more, drop me a line. Let me know what you think. I'm always happy to hear from you. And if you want more inspiration or ideas, go to my website where we try and develop tools and ideas to help you survive the pressure cooker. Thank you for listening.